Hello my friends, William Poloniak here again from Whole Health Foundation. Today I'm making a juice with two different kinds of kale and a number of other ingredients. Let's look at my ingredients. This juice formula has carrots, of course, French sorrel from one whole plant, one beet with the tops, two different kinds of kale, garlic, ginger, and turmeric. So let's make some juice. Now, one thing I want to point out is you never leave the cutter on the motor shaft. Always remove it, clean the motor shaft, oil the inside of the cutter. Now this is a near zero blowback cutter that has over 80 teeth cut into the 5 blades. What I'm going to do now is change the number 2 grid to the J grid for greens. J grid for juice, that is. And I use that with greens. I'm going to plug in the thermometer and then add some ice cubes. First thing I'm going to do is put on the cutter. I'm going to plug the thermometer back in and add 3 or 4 ice cubes. Let's add 3 ice cubes. Push the ice cubes through slowly so that the cold transfers to the cutter and the feed tube. Now I'm going to start with the kale and put all my greens through. And let's put in another variety of kale. As high as 35, but I like to keep mine below 20. So 3 more ice cubes. Now I noticed that my juicer is working hard, so I'm going to clean the grid on both sides. And you notice how I hold it in my hand, not by my fingers. So clean both sides and continue. Now for the beet tops, put half of the beet tops in. And continue with my greens. Now I'm going to switch to French sorrel. We're up to 25 degrees centigrade. And as I said, you can go up as high as 35, but I like to keep mine below 20. Next I'll put in my beet. More greens, French sorrel. And I'll follow that with the turmeric. Continuing with the French sorrel until we're done with the greens. So here's the last of my greens, the last of the French sorrel. ice cubes, and then clean the grid and switch to the number 2 grid, which is better for carrots. Alright, we'll clean the J grid, J for juice. And reassemble, and we'll continue with carrots. And when you have small carrots, you can put big end to small end. Two or three carrots at a time when they're small. It's a good idea to use 2 hands. Using 2 hands is kinder to your spine. Now here's the last of my carrots. Now one of the things I love about this front-loading feed tube is you can see in here, and usually 99% of the time there's no produce because it's all shred. But I'm in the habit of taking a few fingers full of shredded pulp and pushing anything through that might be there. Now the next step for me will be to take out the grid and the grid holder, scrape off any pulp off the grid, and then I'm going to disassemble the feed tube, put any pulp that's in here into the bowl, mix it, and before I make juice, I'm going to clean the feed tube. All juicers sold by Whole Health Foundation come with this cleaning brush that's perfect. And if you're not cleaning your feed tube with a brush, you should be. I have seen some juicers, especially from juice companies, come in so much calcium built up in the tube, it took a wire brush to clean it. So we'll clean the grid. Put that back in. Clean the cutter and always brush away from you. You don't want to be brushing water onto your apron. Now with the wet brush, I'm going to clean the escutcheon in the front of the juicer. I have a spray nozzle, but you can use a damp cloth. And then I'm going to reassemble. Now the cutter always goes on top. Never, and I mean never, leave it on the juicer. So next, we're going to mix the produce and make some juice. We'll be to mix the greens with the carrot pulp. Whenever you have carrots mixed with your greens, you do not need a bamboo liner. If you're doing only fruit juice or only greens juice, you will need a bamboo liner. And we have those custom made from wild organic bamboo. Now I'm going to start with a new set of 6 cloths. Normally I keep these in the freezer, but I'm starting with a new set of 6 cloths now. And I'm pulling the folding container out so that the cloths dangle down, not touching the countertop. You never know how clean your countertop is. So let's put in the juice tray, a collection container, and I'm using the 2-liter 8-cup container so that when it's pouring juice out, it doesn't overshoot and hit the counter. So we'll put 3 scoops on each cloth, and I'm going to demonstrate my 6-cloth less work method. So the cloths are folded in thirds as tightly as possible. Set that aside because I'm going to press 2 cloths full of pulp at one time. 2 cloths into the press. Centered left to right, very, very important. Centered front to back, adjust if need be, all the way back, back it off a little bit, and we'll continue. 3 scoops into each cloth, and later I'm going to put only 2 scoops on top of the spent pulp. Nice tight package. You're on your last cloth, advance that all the way. That sound you hear is the bypass valve. That's so that you don't have too much pressure. If you had too much pressure, your juicer would come apart. Now here's my 6 cloth less work method. These go forward, that goes over. The spent cloths go on top. 2 more cloths full of pulp into the press. Again, check your trays on properly, centered left to right, centered front to back, all the way back, back it off. Now you never throw away the spent pulp, and I'll show you why toward the end. We're going to put 2 scoops on top, not 3, and fold as before, but with only 2 scoops. Over. And my 6 cloth less work method again, this goes on top. 2 new cloths go in the press, and we'll continue with this rhythm until we come to the end. 2 scoops, not 3. Later it'll be only 1 scoop because this patty is getting very, very thick. This goes forward, that goes over. And because this bowl is full, we're going to put them into bottles. And the tray will sit back a little, but not a little, a lot, so it's very, very obvious. You don't want it to drip on the counter. Now I'm filming these from the back side so that the camera gets a good look. And notice I'm leaving about 10% to add filtered water. I use distilled water. You could even use bottled water, or even tap water if your water's pure. And the reason we do that is the juice is very, very concentrated, and especially for a diabetic, it might have too much sugar. So we're going to add water later. Now pull the juice tray out, make sure it's on the press properly. Put in 2 more cloths full of pulp. Again, very important, centered left to right, centered front to back, all the way back, back it off a little. And as I said, we never throw away this pulp. I think what I'm going to do is, this is going to be the last time I put 2 scoops on. Later we'll put only 1 scoop. Oh yeah, it's very, very thick. So I think with the next one we'll only put 1 scoop. The reason for that is you want to be able to fit it in the tray. So on this one, only 1 scoop. And you're on your last cloth, advance that all the way. And again, that squealing is the bypass valve. This goes forward, that goes over. 2 cloths on top, and we continue until we're done. But now we're only going to put 1 scoop all the way back, back it off a little bit. 1 scoop, not 2. We never throw away this, and you'll find out later toward the end of this video why. Because I'm going to show you how to get 10% more juice. Centered left to right, centered front to back, all the way back, back it off. Now this spent pulp, you never throw it away. I'm going to show you how to get 10% more juice. So we'll form this into a very tight ball. Very tight package. I'm going to fold the cloth under itself to minimize slippage. 2, 3, 4, even 5 times if you can. In both directions. Advance that all the way. And continue repackaging the spent pulp. Do not throw it away. I don't know if you can notice it or not, but it's wet around the edges, which is an indication there's more juice in here. And not only more juice, but the most valuable juice, because it has all the micronutrients. Now the juice is very, very concentrated, so I'm not filling it to the top. You can if you wish. Now I'm going to put my last 2 cloths in and repackage the spent pulp to demonstrate how you can get 10% more juice. Now 10% is a lot of juice. Centered left to right, centered front to back, all the way back, back it off a little bit. Now as I said, I'm going to repackage this. Repackaging it, you pull it into a tight ball, as tight as you can. Now as you can see, I've repackaged the pulp. Remember, do not throw it away. Repackage it into a tight ball, and I've done that here. I have 3 packets of repackaged pulp, and I'm using a measuring beaker to show how much more juice we can get. So let's put 2 of these in the press. And again, centered left to right, centered front to back, adjust if need be, all the way back, back it off. Now as soon as I get traction here in juice flow, I'll advance that all the way. So far we have a little over 2 ounces. Now, as soon as you get juice flow, advance that all the way. And I'm going to repackage these again. And again, as soon as you get juice flow, advance that all the way. Now, as you can see, I've repackaged the pulp a second time into 3 double packets, and from the first pressing I got a little over 12 ounces. So let's put in 2 more packets and see how much we get from a second pressing. And as soon as I get juice flow, I'll advance that all the way. Oh, look at that. There's another ounce, 13, a little more than 13 ounces. As long as you have a steady flow, you can leave it up as long as you want, especially if you have the Whole Health Foundation Premium Bottom Base Plate. It has a lifetime warranty, it'll never break, and you can leave this up 30 seconds, 40 seconds, whatever you want. A little more than 16 ounces. Now we have droplets. You know, I'm afraid that'll overflow if we press another plow. So there's 16 and a half, almost 17 ounces. I'll pour that into this tray, or this bowl that is. Put in my last 2 cloths. Now we could repackage this again, but I'm not going to. You get the idea. Centered left to right, centered front to back, all the way back, back it off a little. Advance a little more. And all the way. There's 4 ounces. Yes, if we had repackaged, we could get significantly more juice. But as I said, I don't want this video to be too long, so there's 5 ounces. So 5, 10, 12 bottles, and enough for a taste test. Now as you can see, I'm topping off my bottles with water. I use distilled water. You can use filtered water, bottled water, or even tap water. And next I'm going to cap these off and put them in the fridge after we do a taste test. Now there are 2 things you should always do, and almost no one tells you about it. The manufacturer of these juicers don't. I do. Probably the only one that does. Is take your cloth and clean around the edges so that calcium does not build up here. If you allow the calcium to build up, it'll be next to impossible to clean around here without soaking it overnight in water and either bleach or vinegar. So after you've done that, rinse all the pulp off as best you can. Now they're going to go in the freezer where germs and contaminants cannot grow. However, before we press these, I want to show you another thing that almost no one does. And that is to clean the upper plate. hope you can see the color there, and the side plate. And then press the water out. So I'm going to use the collection bowl. Make sure it's on the press properly. Next, into the freezer inside a plastic bag. Now, as you can see, I have 5, 10, 12 bottles of juice. And remember, 1.5 of these bottles was from pressing the already spent pulp. So now let's do a taste test. Well, my friends, now for a taste test. 2 varieties of kale, ginger, garlic, turmeric, carrots, of course, and French sorrel. Oh, this is delicious. One of my best formula yet. Well, my friends, I hope you like what you've seen. And if you do, please tell a friend. If you'd like to call me, my phone number is 760-753-0321. If you want to order supplies, buy a juicer, or even get free advice, my email address is developtrust@cox.net, and my webpage is wholehealthfound.com. See you in the next video.